We are live.
Yes, we are on air.
We are on air, so maybe just give our participants some few minutes. So there's a link I've shared with you, Kelvin. So in case you need to share
Yes.
with your friends, that's the link to. Or if they just go to my profile, the event will just pop up on LinkedIn when they're LinkedIn on my, especially on my profile.
Okay.
So share with you a direct link that you can share with them, and yeah. So maybe a few like 2 3 minutes to let some people to join, and then we can kick off. So in the
Yeah.
meantime, how is remote gigs from your understanding on your end? Maybe before we start.
It's good. It's good. Of course, it's not always rosy. Some days are good. Some days are not so good. But we keep trying our best, and most importantly, we keep learning. I think that's what has really helped me to navigate this remote workspace. Is every day is a learning. You learn something new every day from different
Mm-hmm.
content creators, and you see there are many platforms. There's
Yeah.
Fiverr, there's Upwork, there's Substack, there's Coachly, there's LinkedIn. So you see each social media platform has the people who are like gurus in them. So you can
Mm,
always consult them, get to know the tips, the insights on what to do, what not to do. So it becomes easier to navigate when you are building a community, because you really can't do this by yourself. You always need to have help,
help, yeah.
people to coach you here and there, people
Mm-hmm.
to help you and guide you along the way. And of course, another thing also is that you keep practicing. They do say that practice makes perfect. So the
Yeah.
more you work on it, the
Mm-hmm.
more you become better. And the better you
Mm,
become, of course, your profile becomes better, more visible. The client starts seeing that you're actually consistent in what you're doing.
mm-hmm.
And with that, it adds your credibility. And of course, the credibility, now you get clients coming in, inbound messages, referrals here and there. So it becomes easier from that. So you see, it's all a chain of reaction.
Yeah.
It keeps progressing over time.
And by the maybe Grace, maybe before we even continue, can maybe place your camera in how it keeps changing it till keep shifting our
Keep
participants'
building.
tension. Rose, you can hear me?
Me?
Yeah,
Yes, I can hear you.
your Nini, I wish it can remain there.
Oh, still.
It keeps changing. I'm seeing your forehead.
Guy. Hey.
So
Well,
I maybe wanted to know what's maybe for a layman, what is ghostwriting?
Ghostwriting. Ghostwriting is the art of writing for your clients and writing as them. So you kind of act like a ghost, because your client gets all the, yeah, in layman's terms, that's what it means, because your client gets all the credit.
Mm-hmm.
You see, the ideas are theirs, the profiles are theirs, but you
Mm,
use your expertise and your skills to write as them, to sound like them.
like them.
Yeah, like them. Yeah.
So do you learn how to be a ghostwriter, like specifically to be a ghostwriter, or it's more of like it's just a borrowed, it's like it's just an acquired thing? Or is it like to be really good at it you need to like learn a specific stuff? Or it's more of acquired, as long as you're good in writing, you understand this craft, you just acquire that knowledge on the way.
Well, I could say it can go both ways, because there are people who are naturally talented at sorry, at writing, so it comes easier with them. But you can always learn that skill. Any skill can be learned. So you just have to have interest in it, have passion in it, and just be willing to be open-minded, to broaden your horizons, to broaden also your exposure, so that you're able to learn as you go. And failure and struggle is part of the process, because you won't be good at it at first. You will be not writing very nice articles. You'll have a lot of back and forth with your client because he or she wants it to be almost perfect, and it can be perfect in the beginning. So you have
Yeah.
to keep kind of negotiating. Like, is this okay? This okay? How can we use this angle, and like this and like that. So with time, it gets easier as you continue practicing, and as you continue learning the tips and the insights on how to
Tips.
be a
Mm,
ghostwriter. Yeah. So
okay.
you could say, when I started ghostwriting sometime late last year. So
Mhm,
it's been about 8, 9 months. And where I am now, I wasn't like this when I started. I was very
mhm,
fresh. I have never done or studied writing in high school or university, but I just felt like I have a passion in writing, and I thought
mm.
of just pursuing it. And once I started pursuing it, is when it became easier for me with time.
With time.
Yeah, with time. Yeah.
That's good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's about time. We can now start. We are like 13 minutes into time. So I think we can now kick off with our evening session.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our LinkedIn Live this Thursday. What date is it? Is it 2nd July? No,
It's
third,
it's second, yes.
July, yeah.
2nd.
Second
Ah,
July.
nice. There were so many interactions during the day about this topic because I feel every African, almost all of us who have gotten into this digital space, we have experienced bias, we have experienced so many blocks in even getting that first client. And we have so many different fields. There's ghostwriting, there's social media management, there's virtual assistant, there's graphic designing. But each and every one of us, like there's some point where we merge because of the challenges we've experienced. And thank you so much to our guest for accepting our invite. Uh, I do not want to introduce because I feel like I will understate what you do. So let me allow you to introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kelvin Kamau Njau. I'm an executive LinkedIn ghostwriter and also a cinematic voiceover artist. So I use both my words and voice to help coaches, consultants, and creators to be better on social media. I am live on LinkedIn, Fiverr, Upwork, Substack, and Instagram. I've been on social media on LinkedIn for about 1.5 years. So in that amount of time, I have been a virtual assistant. I've also been in administration, but over time, I saw that my line is ghostwriting. So that is my core area: ghostwriting and doing voiceover. So thank you so much for the invite. I hope we'll have a interactive and interesting session as we continue.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much, and you're very welcome today. So maybe we'll start with the quick fire questions, just five. These are one word answers to get into the discussion. So, question number one: if you had to recommend one platform for a beginner, Fiverr or Upwork?
Only one word.
Yes, only one. Only one answer.
Wow, yeah, it's that's
Probably it could be a very brief answer in another word, in other words.
um I would say Fiverr. I'd say
Fiverr,
Fiverr.
okay.
Yeah.
You'll explain later why.
Okay.
Number two, if you could choose only one platform to attract clients over the next 1 year, LinkedIn or Instagram?
LinkedIn.
Okay.
Hands down
Number
LinkedIn.
Number three, if you
Yeah.
had to rely on just one to get
Mm.
a client, a strong portfolio or a strong CV?
Strong portfolio.
Okay. Number four, to niche down or to remain very broad?
Niche down or remain very broad.
Mm-hmm.
Niche down.
Niche
Definitely
down.
niche down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number five, if you were to choose one thing that matters the most if you're in this digital space, what would it be? A, consistency. B, talent. Three, niche, sticking to your niche.
You've said consistency,
A,
talent.
consistency. B, talent, stroke, maybe expertise. And number three, sticking to your niche.
Um, can I put a tie? Is it possible?
Yes. Okay, okay.
Yeah, I would say it's a tie between consistency and sticking to your
Mm.
niche. Those two go hand in hand.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay, we'll go into that.
yeah.
Don, what will you pick?
For me, I'll say I'll first go with consistency.
Ah, okay. I don't know. Maybe I will
Okay,
choose sticking to your niche first. I don't. Now, I think we'll start
interesting.
because you've mentioned you've done a couple of things, virtual assistant, ghostwriting, and I saw very recently you are into voiceover. So maybe walk us through the journey how you started from this until you realize, oh, this is my path and let me stick to it.
Um, okay, first things first is let me start from the beginning, if that's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, so I resigned from my 9 to 5 job in December 2024. From a job that I've been working in for like 5 to 7 years. I felt like there was need for change, need for growth, need to challenge myself. And I kept hearing, go to LinkedIn, update your CV, go for a couple of interviews, take a nice photo in the studio, and you'll get a job very fast. I was like, okay, let me try and see what this LinkedIn is about. So I entered LinkedIn in Jan 2025, very green. Of course, seeing people celebrating their wins, 5,000 followers, 10,000 followers, got a nice job, got a gig, what. So I came in LinkedIn seeing that it's very fast paced. People are just rushing to wherever they're rushing to. So it was hard for me at first. So I started by opening up and just sharing my story, how my journey was in employment and how I got to now start wanting to be in social media. So once I started being vulnerable and sharing my story, also on mental health, particularly for men, it resonated with many people in my audience. So my followers started increasing, and by then I didn't know what I was meant to do. So I just started just posting about my story and like that. Then I started now pursuing being a virtual assistant. Got a couple of coaches who trained me, coached me on being a virtual assistant. Did it for a few weeks, I think to about 2 to 3 months, but I still didn't feel like it's my line. So again, I felt like I was back to square one, not knowing what to do. So now I started reading about writing, about copywriting, SEO writing, and then I landed on ghostwriting. Started researching, started following a couple of creators on LinkedIn who are ghostwriters, and I was like, okay, this seems interesting. Let me try to pursue that. So I just started writing long form text on LinkedIn. This was about August or September of last year. Just started writing articles with no direction, no formula. Of course, the first few posts didn't do well. Getting zero likes, zero DMs, zero leads. But something inside me just kept telling me to keep on. So I kept on writing and writing and writing. So a few months later, I got this post of this very top level content creator. I don't remember who was she. I think she was a personal branding coach or something. She was sharing insights and tips on how to win on LinkedIn. How to niche down, how to be strategic. Because you see, you cannot just rely on consistency. You have to know what you're being consistent on. So you have to like go through your bio, go through your banner, your bot section, and you have to be very specific on who you want to help and what work you are doing. So from that, I did an overhaul. I changed my entire LinkedIn bio from virtual assistant now to ghostwriter. And with that, I started getting a few DMs, a few interested parties. So I got my first client after now being a ghostwriter for like 6 months. So you see, from then it started becoming easier because now I could see that it was working. So with time, it became better with practice. Got my second client and so forth and so forth. And over time now, I saw I could pursue something else. And I kept hearing that I have a nice voice, that I can be very good in radio. This I'd had for many years, ever since I was even in thinking campus. So I was like, okay, let me also try being a voiceover artist. So I started recording myself on video, started now creating AI images of myself and recording my voiceover and posting them on LinkedIn, sharing them on WhatsApp status and also on my Instagram. Then it started becoming also I'm getting and also interested leads. So I was like, okay, I can now double down and focus on ghostwriting and voiceover. And yeah, that brings me to here. So
Wow.
that's been a nutshell of my journey. Yeah.
I think most people would listen to your journey and think it's easy, but I know it's not, because first
Yeah.
of all, getting these clients is not a walk in the park. You could be posting
Mm.
for a year.
Yeah.
Sorry, you could be posting for even up to a year and you get zero clients. But something
Mm.
very interesting, I see you mentioning platforms like Fiverr and Upwork. So many of us have had not very good stories about Fiverr and Upwork. But for you, you
Yeah.
seem to have broken into these platforms, and somehow you have stood out and things are working for you on these platforms. So maybe you can tell us, how did you get started, and how is it going with this, with Fiverr, with Upwork? You mentioned Coachly as well.
Um, for the moment, I've just gotten into Upwork, Substack, and Coachly. So I'm still learning the ropes and how they work. So I wouldn't really say much about those three. But for Fiverr I entered, I think, sometime last year in December. Um, of course, it's not easy getting into a new industry, a new niche. The first few weeks to 2 months, I was just getting scam messages. People pretending that they are serious, and they always send the same type of message. They say that you should click this link, and that they have seen your profile, and that this is the work that they have given for you. This is someone that you have not talked to before. So you start asking yourself, which work are we talking about in the first place? So of course you have to be very careful, because if you click such links, they will just be able to take a hold of your Fiverr account, and you'll be kicked out and deactivated. So it was hard initially, um, but I just started following these content creators on LinkedIn who are also on Upwork and Fiverr, and a lot of what I know I learned from them. So actually, they're the ones who have helped me on that journey, particularly on Fiverr, on the do's and the don'ts, how to evade these scammers, how to know who's legit, who isn't, even how to open the profile and how to do all these things. It's been from them. And of course, as I always say, with practice, you continue getting better and improving. Yeah. So
So I'm
that's what I can
I'm
say.
thinking back to my own experience because you mentioned Fiverr and it's very
Mm,
interesting. So
mm.
you find so many people saying, no, you should set up your profile like this, you should set up your gigs like this. So maybe in a nutshell, would you explain to us how Fiverr works and what are the aspects that usually make you stand out before potential clients?
So one thing I liked about Fiverr is that you as the freelancer, or you looking for work, you have the power because you're basically describing the services that you're offering. So it's for you to determine even how much money you want to make and how many gigs you can do in a given day or in a given week. So you see in Fiverr, there are buyers and sellers. So me as the freelancer who's looking for a job there or a gig, I am the seller. And you, take you for example, you are the buyer. You're the one who wants to buy my services. So you'd want to look at my profile. You'd want to see what I can do and which services I can offer. So of course, if you find my profile appealing, that's when now you'll be able to see that we can work together. So the mistake I see most people do on Fiverr is that they simply list what they can do. But you see, for you to be able to stand out, you have to be able to be unique and to show results. Like what can you actually do? Maybe say you can do 5 voiceover demos in a given week, for example. Maybe you can write maybe 10 ghostwriting articles in 2 days or something. So you have to show what you can actually do, like show results. So with that approach, you'll be able now to gain trust from the buyers, and now they'll be able to engage with you and give you work, and even recommend you to other buyers who are out there in the marketplace. Yeah.
I remember when I wanted to get into Fiverr, I was told you have to price you have to put your rates as very, very low compared to everybody else who's doing what you are doing, so that you can at least
Mm.
get your fast gigs and break into whatever you want to get into. How was your experience for you when it comes to pricing?
It was difficult, I'll be honest. Because you see, it's a very fine line because you don't want to price yourself so low so that people see that you don't know your value. You also don't want to price yourself so high such that you are out of their budget. So you kind of have to know how to balance between the two pricing. Of course, in the beginning it was hard um, to determine the price, and you see the price there are done in I think dollars, yeah, dollars or euros, but dollars mostly. So with time you just get better at it. Like this gig is for $50. This gig you're doing it needs more time, more resources, so it means maybe for like $500. So the time it gets easier. All these things it just takes time. People really need to be patient. It's a quality that I think most people are struggling with. So they try Fiverr for like 3 months. They're like, "Ah, it's not working for me. Let me try something else." But you see, it's you have to play the long game, like 6 months or even 1 year, for you to be able to be almost like an expert in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right on that because uh, even for me, I think I tried it for just a month and I was like, maybe this is not it for me. It's
Only a month.
yes, it's very exhausting.
Yeah.
The person
Mm,
who led me
it
to
is. Yeah.
Fiverr told me you always have to
Mm,
open your notifications like every 6 hours, every 4 hours. to see if something has come up, to see to see if someone has reviewed your profile or your gig. So it was very exhausting for me. I don't know how you even navigated that.
Um, for me, what helped is that I took time. Like I did used to be on Fiverr like all the time. I used to split my time. Like say I used to be on Fiverr for like an hour or 2 hours a day because you can get very exhausted and you can get very mentally fatigued and at times even irritated if you're being honest. You know, you're there, you are putting in the hours, putting in the work, but nothing is coming in. So one thing that has helped me is to be able to diversify. Like I said, this time I'm spending on LinkedIn, this time I'm on Upwork, this time I'm on Fiverr, this time I'm on Substack. So being able to divide your time. I know most people say that you should focus on only one or two, but for me, I would say I would prefer to put in like even three or four and just be able to like say Monday I'm on LinkedIn, Tuesday I'm on Fiverr, and like that, and like that. So that when one platform is disappointing you or is taking time, you still have something else that you can fall back on and which will give you momentum to continue. Yeah, because if you're only on one platform, it's not working for you, you can like stay stuck and not continue. You might even want to go back to employment and yeah, it becomes a whole other story. Yeah.
I think you've led me to somewhere we were getting into. Now there's Fiverr, there's Upwork, there's this, there are these platforms, and then now you decide, I'm not going to rely on just this one direction. I'm going to put in my eggs in different baskets. So you get into personal
Yeah.
branding. It's not easy as well. You say you are on
Yeah.
LinkedIn and on Instagram. So
Yeah.
at what point are you realizing, let me start building my brand as well on LinkedIn and Instagram to try and attract clients there as well?
Mm, okay. Okay. For me personally, before I entered LinkedIn last year in January, I've been on Instagram for many years. I think like since 2014. But back then, I was using it as a personal account, just posting selfies and posting things I'm doing over the weekend. I wasn't using it for work. So now I entered when I logged into LinkedIn last year is when I saw that some people can actually use LinkedIn, Instagram for building their brand and kind of diversifying. So I got to a point where I dropped off all my photos of my social life and I rebranded, even changed my bio on Instagram, changed my profile photo, and I had a way of linking. If I'm putting my post on LinkedIn, I can link it to WhatsApp and Instagram at the same time. So so currently I'm building my community in both LinkedIn and Instagram. So of course it wasn't easy because some people were used to me just posting my social photos, but with the time now they've been able to see that I am actually also serious on Instagram, and I haven't gotten clients from Instagram yet, but I know the time they will come once they see how consistent I'm also in on Instagram as well.
And
Yeah.
this is something very interesting, because now you are talking about dividing your time between checking Fiverr, checking Upwork, you're on Substack, you're on LinkedIn, you're on Instagram. In a day, how do you plan? Because now for these social platforms, they demand that you keep posting frequently. And for these other
Yeah.
platforms, you also have to keep up. You have to update your gig. There's things like that. So how are you dividing your energy, your time, uh, even your resources? Because you have to keep updating, you have to keep learning, you have to keep improving. How are you able to multitask, if I may say so?
Mm, that's a good question. I'm able to plan in a way that I have like a system that helps me know that, sort of like a calendar. Like I know, like for example, today is Thursday. I know, like on Monday in the morning hours, I'll be on LinkedIn, for example. In the afternoon, I'll be maybe DMing people, like 10 or 20 prospective clients. So that means my Monday is done like that. So on Tuesday, maybe have a meeting on in the morning. I'll log into Fiverr in the afternoon. So you have to have a plan beforehand. Like even have, by the way, even have a schedule of my posts. Like now, I already have posts of LinkedIn for the whole month of July and part of August. So I don't just wake up and say and start wondering what am I posting today. I already know beforehand what I'm going to post in 10th of July, for example, or 20th of July or 2nd of August. So actually, the bulk I would say of social media management and this being online is preparation. You have to prepare in advance. You have to know what you're going to do and how you're going to do it before you get there. So by virtue of preparation, you'll be able to cut down significantly on the mental fatigue that some of us or some people usually experience. And it becomes easier. You even get to a point where you're looking forward to the weekends. You see, when I was in my 9 to 5 job, I used to dread Mondays. I used to have bad Monday blues. On Sunday evening, I'm like, oh my goodness, tomorrow is Monday. I have this work, I have this work. But now, as a social media entrepreneur, I'm already looking forward to it because I love my job a lot. So I have that energy to plan in advance, to meet my clients and whatnot. So it becomes easier when you plan ahead.
There's also something very interesting that I will not even let you go before you will talk about this, because now
Mm,
when it comes to Fiverr, Upwork, and all those other platforms, there are
yeah.
there are your rates there. But when it comes to LinkedIn, Instagram, do your rates now change on your brand pages, or do you maintain a standardized approach to how you price your work?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. Because they can't all be similar. Because you see, each platform has its own ways of how to do things. So you see, the rates of Fiverr can't work for the rates for Upwork, and even those two rates can't work for LinkedIn. So you have to adjust depending on, first of all, depending on the kind of work you're doing. If it takes you like 1 hour or 2 hours, it will be less than work you're doing for like 4 hours or so. And if you're doing a work for like 2 weeks, of course, it will take much more money. So it depends on the duration, first of all. Number two, depends on the intensity of the work. Number two as well depends on the type of clientele. Because there's some clients who they're I would say executive. Like they would pay you much more money than someone who's just starting out. So you also have to know how to gauge your clients. Like this person, you can sell your services for $100. This person for $1,000. So you have to know how to gauge these clients, because you cannot sell your $1,000 client $100, because they'll even undersell you, and you won't get your value. And you cannot sell a $50 client, you are selling to them $400. You are basically chasing them away. So you really have to know how to navigate uh, those clients.
I think maybe we will stick on that a bit, because this is getting freelancers
Mm,
very triggered. So how would you how would you
yeah.
decide or
Mm,
arrive at the conclusion that this is a
mm,
high-end client and this is someone who's just starting out? Maybe I can reference to a situation I experienced a few weeks ago. So I met this
okay.
person actually in person. It was a networking
Yeah.
event. Oh, they tell me
Yeah.
they're just starting out. They can't afford my rates on LinkedIn.
Mm,
They really tried to persuade me. And then I
mm,
I sort of happened to dig deeper into who they were and what they do.
mm,
And this is
Yes.
someone who is supposed to be paying premium.
Mm.
I felt
Wow.
very lied to, scammed, disappointed.
Cheated.
Yes,
Yeah.
I felt very cheated. So, and this is
Yes.
someone I met in person. So, what happens to
Okay.
freelancers who are meeting these potential clients online? How do you start to gauge that this is high end? How are you leading this conversation to decide that?
Um, I would say first, before you engage someone or a client, you also have to look at their profile. Look at their previous work. Look at their recommendations. If someone high end is has recommended them, like a top content creator, someone who has been in the business for decades or years. Um, just look at their about. Look at everything, even from the photo. You can tell this person is high end client or it's someone who's just starting out. And you can tell from the about section, um, the kind of work they have done, the types of photos that they use. If it's from a very very nice camera, it's just a normal camera. So all these things you can pick up and see that this person has been in the game for quite some time, so they can pay good money. um, and even also from the interactions when you're talking to someone, you can tell this person has been in the game for like maybe a few months or a couple of years. So you're just able to gauge, by studying, actually that's the word, but by studying them beforehand. Yeah. You see the way, if you're applying for a corporate job, an 9 to 5 job, you first of all have to look at the company first. You have to research them thoroughly. Look at the CEO, the whatever, what work they are doing, what work you will be doing, the HR, their policies, and all that. So even before you go for the interview, you already have a rough idea on how they move and how they work. So even you'll be able to know how to negotiate a salary so that you're not too high or too low. So it's all from research in advance.
Right. Oh, that's a very tricky
Yeah,
area for most freelancers. Very, very
yeah,
tricky
I agree. Mm, I agree.
area. Donna, has your experience been this tough as well?
Yeah, I think when it comes to classifying clients, it's a very tricky thing. But I think with the more you do it, the more you are able to really identify and be able to know how to segregate them. But for me, how I look at it, sometimes I try to reason in a different way, whereby sometimes you might find probably someone is like nowadays dynamics are there. You find, let's say, our friend Kelvin wants to offer his ghostwriting services to someone. It might be someone young, maybe someone like me who has a startup and stuff, but maybe in the background they have they have a pool of resources where they get their funding and stuff. 'Cause nowadays we see people are having startups, but these startups probably they put things together and they are well funded. We're talking about $1 million startups. So their problem may not be like how much do I pay you per hour. Their problem may be what's the value am I getting from you. So for me, I'll say, I mean, really knowing how to position yourself as valuable. What Kelvin says, that how you're able to put out your value proposition, like what can you achieve. You're telling this person, if I do for you this, I'm going to make sure I can do for you 10 articles within a week. And this means you're going to have more visibility your, towards your funders. You're going to have your impact more out there. So if you're going to have me for month over month, I'm going to double your impact out there. So if you
Yeah.
can really amplify the impact that you bring, the value that you bring, then the dollar exchange for me, I think, will not be a big question. Because if you're questioning more on the dollar exchange, then you'll likely have an if you likely someone will likely pick someone else. Because if I'm going to offer $20 because Rose is offering $30, then there will be someone offering $5. There'll be another one offering
True.
at $3. So the only differentiator is how do I make sure once I have this prospect, my value is respected. And if we are going to negotiate, it's for the purpose of, maybe let's negotiate to start somewhere, but not because that is how they view me. Yeah. So I think that will always be my mantra. And if we, especially for freelance gigs, if we look at it on amplifying the value you bring on the table and what you can offer, how you can be of impact to them, then it will be easy for you to S out.
Absolutely. And I think pricing is
Very
one
true.
of the major challenges with freelancers online. But I think there are also other challenges. I've seen people complaining about location. So when you say in your profile that you're from Kenya, you're from Africa, it is perceived that you will get less reviews. You will be paid lower. You'll be judged harshly by the clients if they agree to your work. How has it been for you, Mr. Kamau?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a tough one because we are very right. The bias is there. It's we won't sugarcoat it. Um, but it's not all clients. Some clients, of course, especially with this voiceover work that I'm doing, they would prefer maybe a person who is speaking with American accent or British accent. So it gets a bit difficult. I'm trying to convince them that yes, you can still speak good English. You don't have an accent that will make them not understand what you're saying. So it's difficult, so to speak. And of course, also another thing is the time zone difference. You know, there are some clients who are based in the States. So when they're waking up in the morning, you maybe it's at night or in the evening. So you really have to push yourself to know which time zones you are comfortable with. Is it only in East Africa, or can you also work UK hours, or Asia or Australia, or also in the States? And there are some clients who are based in those areas who are very particular and very strict, and they don't like excuses. So when it's 8 a.m. their side, you have to be there. So they don't really care whether there's a blackout or there are no lights or something has happened to your laptop or whatever. So it really gets a bit tricky. So you have to know, maybe sometimes you also have to have a power backup. You can buy that and have that in your house. So, or you have somewhere where you can go close by, like a cafe, where you can pop in haraka haraka to continue with your work. So there are all these things that you have to take into account. Also, some who require a laptop that is maybe very advanced, maybe don't have that money to purchase that laptop that they require initially. So you go through so many things when you're freelancing with these people from outside Kenya. But with the time you learn. Of course, there are also others who are scammers. Like, you work with them and you deliver, and then when you are asking for payment, they ghost you. And you don't know, how can you find someone from the US? You can't just go and report them to the police or something. So
Mm,
sometimes you also have to be very strict as well on yourself, be able to ask for advance payment before you start working. So it acts like a guarantee
mm.
that you know that even if you deliver, they'll be able to pay you the rest of the payments in time when you're done.
Maybe
Yeah. So it's
that's a good one. So, and especially maybe it's just a follow up one in regards to the scam, because I know there might be a bit of push and pull. When, for example, you say you want them to pay you up front, maybe that's not how they operate. uh but maybe it will be good for those listening or viewing to understand, how do you fish out, how do you know, or for you, what are some of those things you do to know that this is a legit business? Like, if I do for them this work, I anticipate they'll pay. How do you, just maybe in a simple answer, how do you know that this is a real one, this is not a real one? Because I know when you're in that field, you'll get real ones, you'll get fake ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, in my experience, I would say these things you will know, most of them you'll know from the beginning, like even from your initial interaction. Like, if you start mentioning advance upfront payments, how do they take that news? Are they willing to negotiate, or do they just say no? Me, I don't work like that. You know. Um, Something else I do, especially for my ghostwriting clients, I normally have a questionnaire which I prefer them to fill. So in this questionnaire, it stipulates the parameters of how we'll be working. In the case that maybe, for example, I am late on delivering on work, how will that affect my payment, and how will that affect our work going forward? In terms of also the inclinations, are they open to talking about political views or not? Most people don't want to talk about political views, which is of course very much okay. In terms of sexual orientation, and all these things that people don't want to are not comfortable discussing. So you need to know how someone operates from the beginning. So with this questionnaire, you're able to know how this person will be able to take up that mantle of payment, and how they will if they'll take it negatively or positively. So you can tell all that from the first interaction. I would say, okay, maybe for me it's because I've done it for a long time. So maybe it's because I have more experience in that. So I would say for a newcomer is to seek advice from people who have been there before. Maybe people who have been doing social media for 6 months or 1 year plus or 2 years. They'll be able to tell you, you can do this, you can don't do that, and they'll be able to advise you. So you kind of start off from a better footing, and from someone who's just coming in green, not knowing where to go, who to talk to, and whatnot. So yeah, that's what I could say.
Oh, this is very interesting.
You can see someone saying the laptop party is real, and I think that is, but I
Very true.
but I feel like as per now we understand that when you think
Mm,
of getting into the remote jobs, like, I know you definitely need to have a good laptop, a good internet. So those are normally, by now, when you started some time back, or before, when this thing was a jargon, right now it's no longer a
mm,
jargon. Freelance, virtual assistants, remote jobs, it's no longer a jargon. But at some point, I used to hear people talk about VA, and you're like, what is that? Is that aviation or what? But nowadays,
yeah, very true.
we are used to
Yeah.
it, VA, remote jobs, freelance gigs, and we know some of the
Mm,
standard things that you anticipate. So maybe,
mhm.
yeah, back to you, Rose. We can finalize because it's 4 minutes to 9.
Oh, wow, the time has gone far too
Time
fast.
has
Next
gone.
time we can. Next time we'll. I was hoping next time we can do like a practical thing whereby you showing us how to set up your Fiverr or Substack, or
Upwork.
so that
Yeah.
it's a bit. You can just have
Oh
a
yeah,
good
I can do that.
practical session
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
our audience. Yeah.
Mm.
That will be really nice. So maybe Don will work on that. I no, something is before I forget. I was to ask you,
Mm.
Mr. Kamau. So now
Yeah.
you have a vast experience on these platforms. the personal branding, the social platforms, Fiverr, Upwork, and you have niched down to ghostwriting and voiceover artists. So, in your
Mm.
opinion, which are the high in demand skills in freelancing right now?
Wow, high in demand skills right now.
Mm,
That's a very interesting question.
I think we can say
Um,
ghostwriting is number one.
um, okay, yeah, I would say ghostwriting. I would say SEO writing, also copywriting, um, also virtual assistant. People really look for virtual assistants a lot because you see, um, surprisingly, by the way, I realized that many people are running their own businesses and operating online. So, and you see, operating a business by yourself is very demanding. You would need an assistant there with you to be able to plan your calendar, maybe your travel, if you travel to the country a lot, your day-to-day things. Um, so most of these people, these CEOs and managers and founders, they also look for virtual assistants a lot. So if you're able to be hands-on and also be a proactive thinker, like thinking, what would this person need, in the next week, in the next 2 days, or even in the next 2 hours? What can I do to help him or her to ease the workload? Clients really love someone like that. So, yeah, virtual assistant, even voiceover artist, from time to time. I also hear inquiries from time to time. And also this script writing also. Script writing, writing scripts for people, maybe founders who are on YouTube. Maybe they do a documentary, a movie trailer. So they need someone to kind of write that script for them
Mhm.
on their behalf.
Maybe hold your thought. What I think from this, I think I'm getting a good picture, and maybe mine is to ask,
Mm.
are some of these roles not going to be really affected with especially the aspect of AI, even like things like script writing, copywriting, and even now SEO? I know it's been on demand because even in Kenya, copywriting SEO specialists are very few, and so I know probably that is why it's been on demand. But now with AI, like now, for example, I can use AI to do SEO, copywriting.
Mm.
Don't you think they really be going to be affected, or the demand will still be there?
I don't think they'll be affected. If anything, I would say the demand will even increase
Mm-hmm.
much higher because AI is the future. It's the present and it's the future. And as much as even us we use AI sometimes to do our writing and whatever, there's some things that AI can't replicate. Like it can't replicate personal stories
Mm-hmm.
or emotions, or it can't humanize content. It will be writing like a robot. It won't be writing like as you, as Kamau, or like as Rose, as Willard, because it cannot know what you have gone through
Mm-hmm.
personally. So if you're able to now use your own personal experience and AI together, that's when now
Super.
you become unique.
Yeah.
Yes, and it becomes super. And that's what now the people are looking for. Being able to still use your own content, but also not use AI to kind of support you. And you see, when you use AI to support you, you're able to do much more now. And that's why I'm able to now diversify much faster. If I was using only my own content, I would maybe just double down on only one or two platforms. But with AI, I'm able to niche down and even go and do much more. than I would have.
I think yeah, that one answers it very clearly because yes, AI is there to
Mm,
more of complement, but now in looking at it from a human
mm,
perspective, especially on angles or areas that need that human interception
touch.
to make it more real and more humanized, then the human
Mhm,
um, the human connection is really also needed.
mm, yeah.
I think I'm done.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
This is a very interesting discussion, but I
We should
think
have a
our
part
time
two
is
soon.
Mr. Kamau.
Mm,
As Africans or as Kenyans, we have a habit of saying, I I can't get into freelance work because I don't have a laptop. Uh, I don't have 10,000 followers on LinkedIn. I don't have my Fiverr account is not even very active. But there's always something you can do from where you are. What is that one
mm.
thing you can tell an aspiring freelancer to do immediately, to start now, so that they can start winning?
Um, for such people, I just like telling them two simple words: just start. Evo too. That's all you need. Just start with whatever you have. With your smartphone, with your old laptop. Just start. Even me, I started with 0 followers last year. I think I had 300 followers in January. I'm heading to 15,000 followers in 1.5 years. I just started, and something else also is that it's not meant to be easy in the beginning. It's tough. That one I'll not sugarcoat. It's tough being a freelancer, but the rewards make it worth it. When you have that win, whether it's big or small, it inspires you to keep going. And also something else also is that when you are following these top content creators, when they also share their journey, you see someone has been on LinkedIn for 10 years, another person for 8 years, another person 5 years, another person 2 years. So you're like, okay, kumbe siko peke yangu. So I'm not alone. So it's normal to be slow at first, but it continues to pick up as you go. Yeah. So number one, just start. Number two, keep going. And number three, seek advice. Seek advice from people like me who have been there, who have been there for long. Other people, even people like you guys. I'm sure you've also been here for some time. So yeah, those three I would say to start them off with.
Right.
Yeah.
That is very, very informative. And maybe I will add number four.
Mm.
If you can afford it, be
Mm.
an expert.
Oh yeah, please, even that as well. Yeah, yeah,
You
true.
don't have to do this alone.
Yeah, true.
All right, I think with that, we've come to the end of the conversation. And for me, it's been very insightful because the issue of freelancing has been a discussion for a long time. And somehow, especially as Africa, we never find answers to some of these things, nor unless we talk about it. And so that is why we've had this conversation this evening. And I know we try to make it very interactive and based on some of the pain points that we go through. For those who are in the digital, for those who are in the freelance, in entrepreneurs, it answers all those questions. Because if you're a freelance, you're looking to on how you can get into freelance business. If you're into business, maybe you're looking towards getting a freelancer to work for you, to help you, a virtual assistant to help you achieve some of those business operations that will relieve you some of those works so that you can focus on the most important things. So as each tech today, our main goal is to help us have a community where we can discuss, talk, the innovative approaches to solutions so that we can scale either from a personal angle or from a business point of view as well. And so, if you like to join our community, feel free to DM us, and we will be able to give you a link or a QR code so that you can join our WhatsApp community and you can be more informed whenever we have such sessions. But for today, remember we do host this each and every Thursday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. East African time. So that has been our conversation tonight. Thank you so much, Kelvin, for that, for the insights and for your time, and also our moderator, Rose, for taking us through this amazing segment. So, my name is Don. Till next time, guys, have a good one.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
See you.
See you.